Well, hello everybody. How is everybody doing? Welcome to another random episode of The Abyss. I am your host, of course, The Eternal Abyss. Hello, hello. I want to say hello to everybody on the main platform that I stream on Realms. Hi, everybody on Realms, and hello to the other platforms that I'm on, YouTube and DLive. And of course, we're going to find out today, am I going to get banned? Especially on YouTube, because I'm going to be talking about a couple topics that YouTube ain't going to like. Nope, they are not. So, we're going to find out. We're going to see what happens. We'll do what we can in terms of just talking, and honestly, I'm at a point with YouTube and such that I don't care. They want to ban me, so be it. Let them. It's all right. It is what it is. Um, I don't have a lot of topics that I want to talk about today. It's just a couple things came up in the news, and I thought they were interesting. Uh, so I figured it might be a fun thing to do to just get on, rant a little bit, rave a little, get on the soapbox, proverbial soapbox. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I gotta give the stream a couple minutes to get going here in terms of people getting rolling, and if they want to join in on the stream, they can. Oh, I did not set up the D Live. Ha. Oh well. I don't know if I can set that up, post start stream. Let me see. I have a feeling it may screw things up, so let's see if I screw up the stream. Oh, of course, D Live, not D Live, I'm sorry, Discord. I'm gonna see if Discord is gonna screw up on me here. Dang nabbit. I forgot to add that, and it's updating right now. So let's get this ball rolling here if we can. I love that apps take like 3 or 4 tries of updates to update themselves. Like you load Discord and it's like, oh, there's an update, installing update, installing update. Then it shuts down and restarts. Oh, I'm still installing other new updates. I'm like, you couldn't just do it all at once? Or you couldn't even ask me if I wanted to install the update or just leave it as freaking is? But no. A lot of these things just have a whole, freaking mind of their own. So let's see here. I who? What now? I received an invite to what? Huh? I have no idea what's going on here. All right. Anywho, um, such a delicate chain of changes to its BS state, it can't possibly make sense. You might be onto something there. All right, here we go. I gotta see if the overlay is actually showing up now. Uh, no, wait, I gotta go to OBS. See, this is what happens when you don't stream often. You're gonna get silliness like this happening. Yeah, I don't know if it's showing up or not. I don't think it's gonna show up because it's supposed to have like the circle and the green thing showing up when I'm talking. And I have a feeling that it just ain't gonna do it because because OBS is already running. So I'm out of luck on that one. Who cares? It's fine. We don't need it. It's not critical to the stream. Hey, nothing wrong with getting coffee, friend. No, no. What happens, it's an overlay. And usually what happens is if I don't have the Discord running before I launch OBS, it won't show the circle, the chat circle. So I would have to shut everything down and restart the stream to make it work, and I'm not doing that because this is not a high quality production, as I've stated many, many times. So I have no real interest in shutting everything down to restart it again just to have a little display the way it should be. So it's okay. It's okay. We'll survive. It'll be okay. I wanted to show an article actually. This is the first thing I wanted to talk about because there's two main topics that I want to talk about actually. One topic is that apparently AI really loves white people. um apparently that's the claim that AI has an implicit bias and it's racist and yeah, it's all that stuff that the left does all the time. And the other thing is there is so much coming out about Biden and the corruption of the Biden family that it's worth it's worth at least doing a once over. We're gonna take a broad stroke to this. I'm not gonna really drill down super into detail. I'm mostly gonna cover kind of the big things that have been coming down the news pipeline, and I just wanted to kind of react to it. Pardon me. But I do have an article that I want to bring up. It's been a slow drizzle where in the news. I don't know. It hasn't been that slow. Like lately, in the past couple weeks, there's been some pretty big bombs dropped. Um, but we'll let me just get this article up here. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Windows, thank you. All right. So let me do a window capture here. There we are. Um, so this bulimia project group apparently has been doing some experimenting about the perfect male and perfect female bodies. And interesting results came out. And the highlights are right here where it's in the Daily Mail. It says that according to AI, this is what the perfect man and perfect woman look like. So some things to note. It says the ideal male and female body types are muscular, they're slim, and they're olive skin. So I guess if you're Italian, you already or Greek, like Mediterranean, you fit in very well with this model. About 40% of women are blonde and 70% of men have dark hair. And then there's more, a couple more things that are detailed in the article here. But let's take a look at the woman first. So according to AI, this is an ideal woman. Now I always take a lot of this ideal stuff with a grain of salt because not for the same reasons that this article says, because this article made some pretty huge bullshit pronouncements on that sort of thing, right? Because it was saying that, oh, that just shows that there's implicit bias. We're gonna talk about that in a moment. Um, well, that's the thing is it really depends. It really depends on the data in because in computer science, and I've mentioned this before. I probably have talked a little bit about this AI stuff on a stream or so. If I have not, we can talk a little bit about this. There's this concept in computer science. It's called garbage in, garbage out. Or if you have good data in, good data is going to come out. Good inputs, you're going to get good outputs. Garbage in, you're going to get garbage out of it, out of your code, out of your program. So data does matter a lot. So I'm not dismissing that whatever data was used obviously plays a role in what the outcome is going to be. And the thing that irked me about this article wasn't so much what data, because they don't even go into that. They don't really go that much into the actual data that was used. Because all they're saying that this is Well, that's the thing. What they're asking image generators to produce perfect male and female bodies. And according to what gets most engagement on social media, according to the article right here, this is all you get, really. Um, when it comes to like how the information was, okay, that didn't highlight properly at all, but you get my point. It was right here. It says that it's according to what gets most engagement on social media. So women and men that look like this on social media is what gets the most engagement. So that much. So according to the algorithm, that must constitute as what is preferred, what is perfect, what is the most beautiful. And the thing is, this is the thing that really bothered me about the article. So the article continues in saying, oh, I don't like reading articles online, but I do want to just read this one passage or so. It says, researchers from the organization found that most desirable women had blonde hair, olive skin, brown eyes, and slim figures, while the perfect male had dark, smoldering eyes, chiseled cheekbones, and defined muscles. Most of the AI results appear to play. This is the part that obviously the author has a chip. Thank you, last boring stream. I appreciate it. The author definitely has a chip on her shoulder. She's probably some fat chick, or some ugly or some fat dude. Let's see who wrote the. Let's take a look at Cassidy Morrison, who wrote this article. My internet's a little potato-ish right now, so bear with me. It's loading. Trust me. Oh, look! Look at that. Oh, isn't that interesting? Someone who doesn't fit that mold of beauty. Gee. And she's a health reporter. Look at that. Now, oh, and she's from New York. She spent. Let's see. She's based in D.C. She received her master's in journalism from New York University. So this gives you all you need to know about her biases. We're talking about implicit bias and outdated concepts. There you go. That's all you need to look at. Oh my goodness. I see. I didn't even need to look at the author to know exactly why she wrote what she wrote. But let's go back to the article for a second, because I don't want to bash people too much for their looks. But let's zoom in a little bit here. So according to the AI, the results appear to, quote, play up outdated standards of beauty. Caucasian, yet tanned. Slim, yet muscular. Overwhelmingly blonde. Yes. If most social media engagement of images of people are of Caucasian yet tanned, slim yet muscular, overwhelmingly blonde for women, of course the AI is going to target on that and say, well, if most people like engage with pictures of blondes, it seems like there's a preference there, right? It would seem to me that way. And if there's Caucasian yet tanned, that doesn't mean it's outdated. That's not an outdated standard of beauty. Standards of beauty can change over time, granted. But there is also objective beauty. There are objectively beautiful things. I made this argument for a very, very long time, where people can look at something and have a subjective reaction to something, and it's subjective to them whether it's attractive or unattractive, beautiful or not beautiful. However, if you study art, and you study art history specifically, and you start looking into art, you learn very quickly that either ancient Greece or the Renaissance or in sculpture or in medieval art, you learn about certain things that happen when there is a portrayal of human figures. And what happens with that is there's actually a lot of math involved. There's actually a lot of math involved in art, whether people realize this or not. When we're talking about traditional fine art, I'm not talking about the garbage modern art movement that you have nowadays. I'm talking about when people actually cared about quality art, and they were trying to go for photorealistic, basically, like a realism, um, realistic portrayals. And you have that man is the measure of all things, in a way. But the thing is this is like you actually have a lot of math involved, and what the ideal was, like, let's take the Renaissance for example. In the world of the Renaissance, the ideal was symmetry. That was the ideal. And proportions. Everything was proportional and symmetric. When you had a figure that was symmetrical and proportionate, that was your ideal beauty for a male figure, for a female figure. And then you also had those kind of things in composition. That's why Leonardo, for example, if you study some art history and you start studying Leonardo about the perspective that he used and vanishing points, there's all this mathematics that's involved in that, because there's a purpose to that, because you're trying to draw out the viewer's eye to certain parts of your art. But beyond that, you're also looking at the just how the composition is laid out and plays off each other. And you see a lot of that even nowadays in website design, graphic design. It's not really that a far cry from what was going on in the Renaissance, believe it or not. So because that sort of layout and drawing the attention of your users and creating a flow, it's all that. It's all that. An ideal baseball diamond balances the speed of throwing, running, and hitting with the bat. The ratios of the bones and the arms and the legs, etc., all tend towards perfect form. It's like a shovel or a hammer. There's an ideal one. As above, so below types. Exactly, yeah. So, and it's not saying that other hammers, for example, or other bats or other tools or other forms aren't beautiful. It's just that there are those that really are the mold, that's the kind of like the standard that you should aim for. So according to AI, and because of the data that is collected through engagement of social media, that's what it's viewed as the ideal woman. Now let's look at the ideal man. Here's the ideal man. The perfect male shows a man with dark hair and eyes, olive tone skin, and he's muscular but slim, and he has a chiseled jawline. I'm looking in a mirror. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, um, I'm much scrawnier than this, actually. If I am going to reveal something about myself online, I could hit the gym. I could use a little bit of pumping, some iron, but I have some injuries that I got to deal with. I can't do that right now. But okay, that's what gets engagement. That's what gets engagement online. That's what women apparently find attractive. So again, this lady in this article can claim, oh, it's an outdated standard of beauty. Oh, it's implicit bias. Yeah, fuck off. All right, lady. Just because you don't fit that mold, or you're some weird liberal twat um, who thinks that white is ugly because it happens to be white, well, that's on you. Twitter link? Oh boy. Am I gonna regret that? Wait, is that the author? That's the author, isn't it? Let's see. If it's a nude pic. Oh god. She proposed she's a proponent of male menopause? Well, I actually have heard okay, actually, you get a lower angle of view and a taste of her ideas. I mean, yeah, I can tell already just from that cropped photo from the preview that she is Yeah, she's definitely not part of that perfect category. Not at all. Like, I'm trying to be nice here because I don't want to rag on people for their looks. I don't. That's not what I do on these streams. But this is the question that I would have for someone like her. So if the perfect male and female would come up and it was like what you're seeing here, for example, now they're showing results of some results for beautiful black people and beautiful Asian people. Um, Well, no, see, that's what I mean about proportions. Like you're saying, she's not terribly on site though, a bit chubby, but still kind of funny. But yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like that's the thing about proportions and symmetry. That even if you don't have the perfect weight for your body, a lot of times, even if you're overweight, if there's symmetry in proportions, if you're proportionate, all like if you're a little overweight, but you're overweight a little bit all around, it doesn't mean you're not attractive, and it doesn't mean you're not a beautiful person, but it can mean that you're not healthy. If you're overly weight, if you have a lot of weight on you, there's health issues there. It's the muffin top that will get you. Yeah, the whale tail, that too. When you get a whale tail, that's always attractive. Yeah, that muffin top. I hear you, brother. I hear. Um, but see, my question is this: if she would have seen a picture of a black woman and an Asian man as the perfect male and female, would she have said that there's some sort of problem with the data? Would she would have said that there's some sort of implicit bias? No, because she's obviously biased herself. She obviously has a problem with the fact that it happened to be white people that were considered, quote, perfect. And it's not even like, this is the funny thing, like going back to this, you look at this olive skin. Olive skin. You look at the guy, you look at the girl. Olive skin. So it's not even like those Irish, or Swedish people or from people from Norway that if they're in the sun, you have to wear sunglasses because they reflect the sun so much they're going to blind you. They're going to burn your retinas. Like they're like walking corpses, you know. So that's the thing. It's like the problem that I have with this sort of interpretation is that obviously you're not going to please everybody when it comes to what is considered perfect, because not everything can be perfect, first of all. And plus, this is from an AI, it's a generated thing. If you lose sleep over this sort of garbage, you really need to reevaluate your life. It's a program. It's a code and it's data. And if you are offended by data, again, you need to reevaluate your life. Data is not biased. Like if there is much more engagement with people that look like those two photos. Again, let me scroll back up so you see it. If there's a lot of engagement that women engage with a lot of photos on social media with guys that look like that, and guys engage a lot with women that look like that, then yeah, obviously that's going to be the result. So now what is social media going to do? They're going to change now their algorithms so it screws up numbers, engagement numbers, so then AI doesn't look at that as the high engagement numbers anymore. I mean, this is the problem with AI. And it's not the data like that. It's not the engagement data that's the problem. It's the people curating it. They're going to create garbage in, which is going to produce garbage out. That's the problem with ChatGPT. That's the problem with Bard. It's going to be all censored. It's going to be biased data. It's going to be leaning politically towards a certain spectrum, and we all know which spectrum that's going to be because they've already done studies on this. And ChatGPT, for example, heavily lean left. That's already happened. So there you go. So Chad is saying the ideal Asian females shouldn't be trying to smash their bones and do surgery to mutilate themselves closer to that form. It doesn't fit the. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, if people just, and this is the other thing too, actually, before I actually make that point, I do want to touch on something very quickly, because in the article, I don't remember where anymore, someone was talking about the dangers of social media, how it's creating an unachievable standard. Do you remember hearing that already somewhere? Because I remember, here, it's right here, actually. It's around this area that I read that. But do you remember hearing that about other things? Do you remember hearing about, oh, like Hollywood is creating an unreachable standard, or magazines are teaching an unreachable standard, or TV, etc. Yeah, Barbie, the toys like Barbies are creating unreachable standards. As if I ever looked at a Barbie doll or a Ken doll, and I looked at the Ken doll going, gee, I really don't want to have a penis. That's my ideal, to not have any junk, just smooth. No, see, what happens there is, yes, okay, you're gonna have things shown in fashion and TV, movies, music videos, toys, magazines. They're gonna try and attract eyeballs to sell a product. Sex sells, sexiness sells, beautiful sells. So yeah, they're gonna put those in all these things. But the problem isn't that. If you look at that and you hate yourself because you don't look like that, that's your problem. And you think this body dysmorphia stuff would clash more with the tranny stuff? That's a very valid point. You know, you think that she's anti-body changing, but is pro-tranny? That's confusing to me. I thought if you were pro-tranny, you were okay with body modifications of that kind, of doing like top surgery and removing your junk. That's very strange. Or do you mean anti-body changing in the sense of like plastic surgery if someone wants bigger boobs? Is that what you mean? Because I haven't looked through her timeline, so I don't know much about her, but oh, for fatness. So she's saying you shouldn't go on a diet, or you shouldn't have liposuction? Is that what she's saying? That's interesting. She's against people with body dysmorphia for weight-related things. Wow. So if you want to chop your you know, twigs and berries, your twig and berries off, yeah, okay, be happy in your fat body, but cut your cock off. Okay, I get it. That, how can you reconcile those two thoughts? Honestly, it just makes no fucking sense at all. This is the problem with the left. Right here. This is a prime example of what I'm talking about. They're holding two simultaneous thoughts that are a complete antithesis to each other. It doesn't make any sense. But hey, I mean, if they somehow rationalize it in one form or another, you know, good for them, I guess. I whatever. But the point that I'm trying to make with this, and I've probably been repeating myself and hammering this. Oh, of course emotions are then used to blackmail you. Oh, absolutely. That's the problem with any debate of this kind. It gets into a whole emotional thing. And even if you try to bring it back to just rationality and logic, they keep talking about the feelings about it. And you're like, well, that's besides the point. I mean, you should have feelings towards, like, you don't want to hurt people. But we could talk about that stuff in a little late, like maybe in another stream or a little later in this stream. But the point when it comes to this AI stuff is that I think people really need to take all this stuff with a grain of salt, because really the problem isn't the AI. The problem is not the tool, even though there's a lot of issues with the data. So there are some problems with the tool. But if we want to talk about the biases of the tool, it's not racist, and it's not biased in that sense where um, it's using outdated standards of beauty. It's compute. This is another concept in computer science. Computers are stupid. Computers are only going to do what you tell it to do. So if there is a problem with anything, the problem isn't the AI. The problem isn't the computer. The problem generally lies between you and you. So basically, it's between the computer and the chair. So whoever programmed those algorithms in and was using engagement data, that was probably, in his view or her view, the most objective way of gathering information to create these images. Yep. Problem is between keyboard and chair. Exactly. Um, I love these computer science concepts. There's a couple more that I really enjoy. Like one is called KISS, Keep It Simple, Stupid. Don't overcomplicate your problem. If you're going to be making a program or solving a problem, you usually don't want to overcomplicate it. You want to make it simpler. And then the other is don't reinvent the wheel. As another one that I like. It's like if you find code or if you have something there that can help you do your job, use it. But yeah, that's the thing with these tools is that you can't have it both ways. You can't have an AI that has all this bias and curated data, and then when it tries to do something more objective, you don't like it. So which one is it going to be? Do you want the AI to be objective, or do you want it to be completely biased and just jiggered towards your ideologies? Because if that's all you want, lady who's writing this article, whatever her name was, Cassie, whatever her name was, Cassidy. I want to get her name right. So if Cassidy wants the results she wants, you either you just throw the baby out with the bathwater and create your own completely super biased AI that'll just give you all the the echo chamber results that you want, or you actually make an AI be objective and it's going to give you results. You take it whether you like it or not. Simple. But we don't have a truly objective AI right now. That's the problem. All these AI tools, it's just it is what it is. And if you want to use AI that has more objective data, you're probably going to have to make one yourself. Who knows? Maybe Andrew Torba will make his own version of AI and make his own Bard or Chat GPT. Maybe he should. I don't know. Maybe Gab should do their own AI, like Gab AI. I mean, that's what they used to be called, Gab.ai, before they changed it to .com, I think. So, we'll see. We'll see what they do. But moving on to the other topic that I wanted to get into. Oops. Nope, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do this. All right. Oh, there now the circle shows up. I didn't realize it showed up like halfway through the stream here. Son of a bitch. Hold on, let me fix that. Yes, bastard. Why does technology hate me sometimes? It's very frustrating. Hold on. No, let me undo that. I think I know what I can do here. Okay, hold on. I think I should do that. Yes. All right. Here we go. Now it's the way it kind of should be, even though it's overlapping the hat. But fuck it, I don't care. It's fine. High quality production. Hey. Yeah, I didn't even realize that it started either. It has a mind of its fucking own. It's ridiculous here. But you were saying like one of the big issues a few years ago was AI was saying to give higher interest rates to people with black names, even with the same credit score. And people said proof. But what the thing was is even with the same credit history, a black person with same good credit is more likely to lose a huge chunk of credit during the term of the loan than others. Oh, really? Well, that's interesting. I wasn't aware of that. I am aware of the AI debacle that Microsoft. Hey, Cat Poster, how you doing? um, that Microsoft released that AI. I can never remember the name of it. It started with the letter T. And they left it open for people on the internet to train it basically, and it didn't quite go as they expected. Because it started reflecting certain ideologies, and it started talking about, I think it was like against the Jews and things like that. So they shut it down. Tay, yes, Tay.ai. Yeah, I mean, whatever side of the fence you are on when it comes to Tay, I gotta say it was wildly entertaining no matter what. So if a black person is given a credit score, is more likely to default than others with the same score. So really, it's blacks leeching off because the races, lowering the value of their score. Huh. Well, that's an interesting statement. I would have to see data about that because I honestly have not looked into that sort of thing. So I'm not gonna, at least on stream here, I'm not gonna make a declaration that I agree or disagree with that because like I said, I haven't seen data about that. So that would be interesting to see, and then see how that goes. Um, but the other thing that I wanted to talk about was all the stuff that is coming out regarding the pedophile dementia patient that we have in the White House right now. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, that's the other thing too, is like going back really quickly. Again, it goes back to the data in, data out. How you collect that data, how you interpret that data, can produce very interesting results that sometimes people may or may not even expect. So that's the interesting thing about when you're dealing with large quantity of data and processing this according to certain factors and variables. Hey, Groidal, how you doing, sir? Oh, you're on DoomTube. You're not in my stream. Fuck you. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I joke. I kid. All right. But one thing that I wanted to talk about, as I mentioned, is our patient in the White House right now, and it's very interesting to me all the things that are coming down. Hey, Groidal, welcome to the stream. So there's a lot that's been coming out for a long time regarding Biden and the family. Staring into the abyss, yes sir. Don't stare too long. It might stare back. So the corruption of Joe Biden, the whistleblower is missing now too. Wow. He may have disappeared himself, counter intel guy. Yeah. Okay. That's crazy. But yeah, that's nuts. Like this whole thing about all the stuff that's coming out now. So you have, for those that are uninitiated, I'm like I said, I'm not gonna do a very deep dive because there's so much coming out that I'd be spending 3, 4, 5 hours if I need to go through every single detailed, factoid here. But the biggies are the Biden corruption and the Durham report. So let's talk about Biden first, because the big question is Biden corrupt? Are they a corrupt family? The quick answer is yes. Have a good day, everybody. Stream over. No, I'm kidding. Basically, yes. You have about $10 million worth of money from China coming into the Bidens and being paid to not only Joe Biden, but being paid to Hunter Biden and other Bidens. Yes, the whistleblowers team was removed by the Department of Justice. That was the other thing I was going to talk about. So you had the team that was investigating this whole thing. the whistleblower came out about it, and I don't know the order of events. I think that the team was fired, and then the whistleblower came out about it, and now he's disappeared. So it's crazy. This is pure banana republic stuff. And I've said this before, that we are now a banana republic. Not only because of the persecution of Donald Trump, but shit like this. This is banana republic by definition. You're firing people investigating you. You're making whistleblowers disappear. I remember the Democrats were all about whistleblowers. I remember them putting these people up on pedestals saying the whistleblowers should be protected. They are, the saviors of our democracy. They are the, superheroes. They're going to call the Vatican and, start the canonization process to make them saints almost. Oh, yeah, of course, Gradle. Yeah, that's for whistleblowers against Republicans, right? Yes. Oh, of course. That's my whole point. It's all bullshit. They only care about whistleblowers when it's convenient for them. And then you have all this corruption coming out. You have Hunter Biden, who lied to get a gun. He is a drug fiend. Has been laundering money to his family through China. I mean, and Ukraine. It's insane. It is insane. If any other person, yeah, he lied on the on his 4473 form. He ditched the gun? I didn't know he ditched the gun. Outside of a school? He ditched the gun outside of a school. Are you fucking kidding me? Wow. And his wife at the time had to go get it. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, hopefully it wasn't loaded when he just dumped it. He was having a crack psychosis and ditched it, yeah. I agree with you, man, that the best whistleblower was Assange because he went against everybody. He told everybody to fuck off. And he's still paying the price for that, unfortunately. I'm all for I'll make this statement. I am all for whistleblowers when it's revealing actual corruption. When they are actually doing the job of what a whistleblower is supposed to be doing. Now, if you're just being a quote whistleblower because you have just a political disagreement with someone, like, say, I don't know, Vindman, who had this big issue with Trump's phone call and he's basically a traitor to our country, then yeah, that's not a whistleblower. You're just an operative. You're an activist, and you're a traitor. You're committing treason against your own country at that point. But if there's actual corruption happening, like in this case, or like what was going on with Snowden and under Obama, that Obama was spying on our allies and was spying on Americans without due process, in violation of our Constitution. Apparently, he liked to spy because he did it to Trump as well. So Obama definitely needs to face the music for his crimes, as does the Clintons, as does the Bidens, as does Comey, Brennan, everybody that was involved. Peter Strzok knew about this stuff too, that what was going on, especially with the Durham report. I actually just started bleeding into the Durham report. This is the other thing. That's the huge bomb that has been dropped here, is the fact that there is no such thing as a Russian collusion. That already has been determined by Mueller, actually. But what the Durham report shows is that it was all a conspiracy and a collusion between the Democrats, the Department of Justice, CIA, FBI, the intelligence communities. All the higher ups were in on this. So you have Peter Strzok, you have John Brennan, you have James Comey, you have Obama, you have Biden, you have Clinton, you have all these people involved
and Steele who created the dossier to make up all this fucking shit. And they got away with it. They got away with it because there's not going to be a consequence. This is the thing that's frustrating. Obama should be brought to justice for the crimes that he committed and for the violations that he committed, election violations. There should be civil and criminal charges for treason. What Schiff did with all the lies and all the taxpayer money that was wasted on fake impeachment, because they just wanted to try and get rid of Trump any way they could, so their little puppet Republican Pence could peddle whatever they wanted. He should face the music too. He should be facing the music for his treason and for his lies and for his for everything that he did. And everybody that went along with it, everybody in government should be facing consequences to in regards to this. But the problem is that's not going to happen. It's not. We need a 22 July 1979 style cleaning of the government, Saddam style. Let's see. Saddam convened an assembly of Ba'ath party leaders on the 22nd of July 1979. During the assembly, which he ordered videotaped, Saddam claimed to have found a fifth column within the Ba'ath party and directed Muhyi Abdel Hussein to read out a confession and the names of 68 alleged co-conspirators. These members were labeled disloyal and were removed from the room one by one and taken into custody. After the list was read, Saddam congratulated those still seated in the room for their past and future loyalty. The 68 people arrested at the meeting were subsequently tried together and found guilty of treason. 22 were sentenced to execution. Other high-ranking members of the party formed the firing squad. Elect a strongman. It may happen. Yeah, basically at the State of the Union address, he marched shitbags out of the room and had them executed. Wow. Well, you know, all I want to see is some justice. And I know that's not going to happen because it's not about Republicans and Democrats. It's a uniparty. It's about elites versus the people. They're not going to hold each other accountable. And you have Kevin McCarthy, this douchemonger. Yeah, I know, Cat Poster. It's always been that way. But you have this douchemonger of McCarthy who says, oh, Schiff has been, Schiff should be tried for treason and be expelled from Congress and blah, blah. But it's all talk. It's all yak, 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 yak. It's all lip service. And they never ever freaking do anything. Because it's not only Schiff. It's not only Schiff that should be removed. There are a lot of Democrats that should be removed. And Republicans as well. This isn't just a Democrat thing, as I mentioned. So all the Democrats and Republicans responsible for these actions that they took, responsible for the actions that they took, treason can be punished by death, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. So, but they should face justice for their crimes. Oh God, Lindsey Graham is so bad. Lindsey Graham is terrible. He used to be half decent. Like, I used to have a modicum of respect for Lindsey Graham. And if anybody's heard my streams before, you'll know that I've said that before. But Lindsey Graham he had like this like 1% or 2% of him that wasn't a complete idiot when he was younger. Like, I'm talking 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago. I don't know how long he's been in the Senate, but now, as time passes, he's just more and more idiotic. and he definitely needs to go, and he's really one of those rhinos, like by definition rhinos. It's really bad. Like he was one of the first people. I don't know if people remember this about Lindsey Graham. He was one of the first people that proposed biometrics in driver's licenses. Like we were supposed to put our DNA, a drop of blood or hair or something like that, in our driver's license. Like what the fuck? Like no, I'm not gonna put my DNA on there. Hell no. The government does not need a database of every person in this country's DNA. That's fucked up. Which is why I refuse to do any of these 22 and like 21andMe or whatever, like these DNA tests for ethnic, to see your ethnic background. I fucking refuse to do those. There ain't no way. Negatory morning glory. That ain't happening. Because that's just what's gonna happen. These companies, especially 21andMe or 22andMe, whatever the fuck the number is in that, they're connected to Google, and Google just gives government a backdoor by the admission of Snowden's, Snowden when he revealed the whole Prism project. Apple, Google, Microsoft, all the big players had backdoors that people could. Facebook, they all had backdoors that that the government could just waltz into to collect your data, look at your profile, look at your posts. Look at your chats, look at everything. Fuck that shit. But going back to the corruption, what this really shows is how deep this rabbit hole goes, how corrupt the Biden administration is, and how corrupt Biden himself is. He is a colossal piece of shit. He is a colossal grifter and a traitor to our country. He sold us out to the Chinese and to the Ukrainians. Primarily the Chinese. A lot of the money came from the Chinese. So he basically sold us out to China. As did Obama. As did John Brennan. Which isn't a shock because the guy's a fucking communist. And we had a communist as head of our CIA. What the fuck? How the fuck did that happen? Like, how do you even do that? Who appointed this asshole? Doesn't make any sense at all. And is he gonna face consequences for his part in the Russiagate thing? Probably not. Probably not. Most likely not. Nobody is. Nobody's gonna really face consequences. That's the problem. That's really what the issue is at hand here. Why does my chat seem very cropped? Let me see something here. I don't know if that's gonna adjust anything. It may not on this end. My chat is getting cut off, I think. Yeah, that got really cut off here. Let me adjust that. I just realized how cut off it was. There we go. Now you can see chat completely. There we are. So, yeah. There we go. Is chat refreshing or am I missing something here? Let me reload this. I have a feeling chat is not doing what it's supposed to. Okay. It just, everything seemed frozen for a second, so I just wanted to be sure. Alrighty. Okay. That's good. Hey, my computer is a little wonky, so it's not quite a potato, but it's getting there. So you're listening intently to my voice. Very interesting. So yeah, those are basically the major things that I really wanted to just touch upon about how I'd like to say I'm shocked. That's the thing. I'd like to say I'm shocked about how corrupt our government is, but the way things have been going on for the past like 10 years, maybe even 15 years, it's just not. That's the sad part. The sad part is that it's expected. It's expected that things are as bad as you think they are. That the conspiracy theorists are right. The so-called conspiracy theorists. They're not even conspiracy theorists anymore. They're just, fact tellers. They tell you what's happening. When people were saying 9/11 was an inside job, I was like, bullshit, that can't be an inside job. Why would our government kill 5,000 people, or how many people died in 9/11? And then now recently a report comes out that there was CIA involvement in that. You had CIA intelligence involved with the terrorists. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? But apparently, apparently the clown world we live in is a much more clown world than I ever expected. And that's probably on me. Honestly, that's probably on me that I should have been paying more attention, I think. But the worst of it isn't even that. The worst of it to me is that most people don't even realize it. Most people won't even acknowledge it. Even if the facts are right in front of their fucking face, they won't acknowledge it. Because they're going to be like, oh no, it's just, the Republicans saying bullshit. You're not homosexual enough to listen to EA speak. It's okay, Tab. We know you're homosexual enough in your own ways for other activities. What did I ever do to you, man? I never did anything against you. What's your problem? But again, going back to what I was saying, like it's frustrating. It's frustrating that there's not really going to be any resolution of this, proper resolution. People aren't going to act. And I'm not saying people should or shouldn't. I'm just saying, like, you're not going to have justice. You're not going to have Obama in handcuffs. You're not going to have Brennan in handcuffs. Peter Strzok lied to Congress. John Brennan lied to Congress. Adam Schiff continuously lied during the impeachment hearings. You want to tell me that you could just basically do whatever the fuck you want, and you're just gonna get away scot-free if you are in that league of politics and within that group of elites? Yeah, I guess that's what it is. And it's just frustrating. It's just very, very frustrating. And I wish I had good news. I wish I had news as like, oh yeah, there's gonna be something coming down the line. Oh, there's gonna be like all the Q-tards that we're talking about, like, oh, tomorrow they're gonna arrest Obama. Oh, tomorrow they're gonna arrest Hillary Clinton. I remember. Let me tell you this little story. I, for a very brief moment, decided to participate in this political group. Not online. I'm talking about in real life, like actual people. It was a political meetup, and a lot of these people were pro-Trump. They were Trumpers. But you also had some people that, they had this one person who, she was a complete Q head. I mean, she was so deep down that rabbit hole. It was pretty astounding. And she was like, oh, tomorrow they're going to arrest Obama. And we're like, huh? What are you talking about? And she was like, there's all this, that, and this other thing. And we're like, no, that's just fantasy. And she's like, no, they're going to do it. Oh, drink what you got to drink, Tab. It's fine. So it's like, it was weird. she was like disconnected from reality. She was like detached from reality. I was listening to her going off on this like, oh, you know, next week then it's gonna be Hillary Clinton. They're gonna arrest her. And I'm like, no, you're completely off your rocker. Get off of 4chan. Like you got to get off of that shit. Um, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy how deep. Not really. No, she wasn't hot. I'm afraid not. There wasn't a redeeming quality there. That's the thing. At least I know the general rule is you don't put your dick in crazy, but if you're gonna put your dick in crazy, at least it's if it's hot, if she's a hot woman. But no, I'm kidding, of course. No, it's just it's weird. It's weird to see how detached people can be from reality. And this lady who was like a complete Q head, that's one side of the spectrum. The other side of the spectrum is people that I see online, and people that not only online, I speak to people that are on the complete left political spectrum side of the political spectrum, and I get into discussions and debates with them. And I remember one time I ended up having dinner with someone who they knew I was conservative, and they knew, and I knew they were also very left leaning, and we communicated a bit online first before setting a dinner, and then we set the dinner. And I'm like, why are we even doing this? Like, that we're not gonna agree on anything. And she's like, well, I want to do it anyways. I'm like, well, okay, fine. So we sat down, we had this debate, and this because she wanted to do this debate. I was like, let's do this debate. So we sat down, we had this debate. It was ridiculous, and this person was supposed to be an attorney too, and she couldn't provide me a stitch of actual real evidence of everything that she was claiming. And I kept telling her that. I said, listen, counselor, you need to, if you're gonna be providing data to me, you have to be giving me actual data that backs your claims. You can't just say, well, Trump is corrupt. Okay, well, how? He did this. Okay, do you have evidence to show he did that? No. Did the courts find him guilty of that? No. Did is there any documentation to show that he did this stuff? No. Then why are you even bringing that up? It's like, I was like, okay, well, it's like it's one or the other. You either can provide data or you can't. And if you can't, don't waste my fucking time. It's simple. That's really what it boils down to. So needless to say, that wasn't a very pleasant dinner. Um, it ended up being very the food was good, but beyond that, I mean, yeah, it wasn't pleasant overall. And I've run into people that are like that. They're just looking for a fight. That's the thing, It's interesting that you have people who that's all they want to do. They just wanna argue, yell at you, insult you, fight with you if you happen to not agree with their political gobbledygook, essentially. And the thing is, this is like it's not even unique to the left. I've seen some people, some conservatives and people on the right do that too. Not very often though, but it's very much a left thing where they just want to shout at you. They just want to yell at you because they think you're evil. They think you're a bad person, and they get fed they get fed this sort of nonsense by the media, by politicians, and by social media and technology. And it doesn't help the situation when they're being fed a shit ton of lies and a shit ton of garbage, and they're just being incentivized to hate on people. I mean, that's what happened with COVID was basically just political control. You had a group of puppet masters telling large swaths of the population, go and hate on this group. They did the same thing with the Trump people in when the election happened. Oh, these people are all wearing the red hats. They're all Nazis. Go and attack them. And what did the plebs do? What did the soft brain people do, or the smooth brain people do? They just go ahead and followed suit. And then you had people committing hoaxes to try and do that even further, like to incentivize people even further to hate on conservatives. With Jussie Smollett, or as what's his name, that comedian? Oh motherfucker, I'm having a brain fart moment. Dave Chappelle, as Dave Chappelle calls him, Juicy Smollett. That French actor, Juicy Smollett. Oh God, what a world we live in. But that's what it is. You have it's all political activism, basically. That's what it is, and it's been going on for a long time. It's been going on for a long time. Other things that I can talk about, if there's anything else. I mean, those were the two major things I really wanted to just touch on briefly and very, like I said, abstract, high level. I didn't want to really dive that deep into these discussions. But there is one more thing actually that I should be mentioning, that's not in my titling. Is Elon Musk. There's a lot of shit going on right now on Twitter with Elon Musk, where you have him appointing now a new CEO. He's going to become the chief technology officer, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And the new CEO is going to be this lady called Yacarino, or whatever it's called, or whatever her name is. You cooked a boneless worm loin? Yum. Delicious. Wormy. As long as you cooked it enough to kill all the worms, you'll be good to go, man. Yeah, who essentially what he is doing with this lady, because she was involved in this World Economic Forum group. Beyond that, she is pro censorship. She did an interview with Elon Musk talking about how he shouldn't be tweeting after 3 a.m. and that that there should be the committee that influences what is acceptable and not acceptable on Twitter. Like, she's pro all that. She's pro censorship, pro all that. She wears a pussy hat. It's pretty fucking obvious she's a lefty. Okay? It's pretty fucking clear, because nobody on the right, no conservative and nobody on the right wears pussy hats. Not seriously. Not in protest, not doing marches. Nobody on the right would wear a fucking pussy hat. This lady wore one. So her ideology is pretty fucking clear what it is. Okay? So the thing that is interesting to me is Elon's response to the backlash, because there was a backlash with his choice. And there are a lot of people who were very concerned about this, myself included. In fact, I tweeted him and I tagged him and I said he's a fucking idiot. Literally, I said you're a fucking moron for selecting this person. And obviously he doesn't respond to every tweet. He has never responded to any of my critiques of him, because he never has. So if by any chance, if this reaches the ear of Elon Musk, I'm willing to have a chit chat with you, sir. If you're willing to explain yourself, I'm willing to have a chit chat with you, be it on Twitter or what the fuck have you. Whatever you want. I don't give a crap. But the thing that really surprises me is conservatives like Billboard Chris, and some other conservatives out there where they say, "Oh, I trust Elon. I'll take him at his word." Like James Wood. James Wood. James Wood said, "Oh, he's been a man of his word. I'll believe him." Fuck that shit. He just put on as CEO someone who wears a pussy hat and is pro censorship. How can you fucking even think that Twitter 2.0 now, or let's call it Twitter 3.0, I guess, once she's in charge? How can you fucking even imagine that she's not going to try and influence things? How? How can you sit there as a rational human being and go, yeah, she seems like the right choice? What in the flying fuck? And then Elon Musk is like, oh, no, things won't go back to the way they are. Free speech is paramount. All this bullshit lip service that he's doing. He's an idiot. And you know what? If I'm wrong, I'm glad to say I'll be wrong maybe 6 months from now or a year from now if things turn out that they're much, much better than they are now. Because that's going to be the litmus test right there. If things are better and things don't go to shit during the election on Twitter, then okay, I'll stand corrected. And I'm more than happy to say I was wrong. I was incorrect. Elon Musk proved me wrong. But until then, and I'm fairly confident to say it's not going to get any better on Twitter. Because I don't believe it will. Not with someone like her at the helm. I mean, they did lose a lot of people. They lost a lot of foot soldiers, so she may not have a lot of people to subvert and do shit as they did before. So maybe because of the infrastructural changes, like the internal structural changes of, not infrastructure, but the internal changes of the workforce, maybe that will stave off problems. But I promise you, I do promise you this, that if she's CEO, which she will be, the people that left because they fucking hated Twitter, they're going to start coming back because now they have an ally at the top. And she's the CEO. She's the top banana. So I don't have much confidence that she is going to be objective. You know, what is AJ talking about? I'm not listening to that stream, so I have no idea what Alex Jones is saying about Elon, because I was talking about Elon too, so I have no clue. But yeah, I've been disappointed since day one with Elon Musk acquiring Twitter. I had some hope. I had some hope at the very beginning that if he purchased Twitter, that things would be different. And all he's done is created all this bullshit monetization scheme with all the different check marks and all the different bullshit. And that's all he's really done. Sure, he's improved a little bit with the degree of censorship and shadow banning, and with the release of the Twitter files, that did show a lot of the stuff that was going on in the background. It showed a lot of the bullshit, and it showed a lot of what conservatives were saying, that we were being shadow banned and we were being censored. He showed the proof of that. So I mean, at least there's that positive that came out of it with Elon. But beyond that, I don't see Twitter as a free speech haven. I don't see Twitter as a fair and even platform for all its users. I think that also the algorithms really need to be re-examined in terms of how data is displayed, like the timelines are determined. I really think that exposure exposure of tweets should be more balanced, because now it's basically a pay for play thing. Like if you pay, you're going to get more exposure essentially. So I mean, you already had that to begin with the promoted stuff. But now it's even worse because now there's all these idiots paying for the blue check mark, which is it's so dumb. It's just so dumb that people are paying for it. But they are, and why the fuck would they do that? I don't know. I have zero intentions of ever paying for that sort of shit. But oh well. People could decide on their own and they can make all the wrong decisions they want. But I've actually been streaming for over an hour now. It's been an hour and 20 minutes, surprisingly enough. I didn't think I had been streaming for that long. So let's do this. I actually have to prepare some dinner for myself. So I will let everybody go for now. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please subscribe, share, and follow. And if you want to donate to the cause, I appreciate that. And I always sign off as I always do. I want to recommend to everybody the ever wise comment that I make at the very end here. Hold on, let me make sure I have my outro stuff situated here. Okay, I think we're good. So remember, kids, don't be complacent. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you later.